break down over a unified curriculum for initiative kids. The Asari say they'll wait it out until demands are met. This is HNS. Crisis in hydroponics ended after Nexus security, resulting in numerous injuries, intended breach dwelling.
I don't care what she says. We can't work these hours.
I don't care what you say, we have to.
The use of firearms on the Nexus is against initiative regulations.
Ryder.
You have new email at your terminal, Pathfinder.
The Asari Ark has been recovered in these spaces. Showdown on Kadara. As we retreat to stasis.
The others aren't here yet, but it shouldn't be long.
The others?
Cash and Vorn. If we're gonna teach you Krogan games, we're gonna need more Krogan.
Vorn doesn't bug you as much as you pretend he does. Huh.
Yeah, don't tell anyone. He's smart, real handy with plans, kept the colony alive and going after we left the Nexus. Cash made a good choice there. Not that I had any say in the matter.
So, fire-breathing thresher maws of doom.
That's right. Pretty basic game. First one Krogan kids usually play.
I've seen vids, and I know thresher maws are damn huge, but fire-breathing thresher maws of doom? That sounds like overkill.
You'll see, it's great.
Right, so, what are the rules?
Kids game, remember? It's simple. Burn down all the other pieces on the map. You win.
I can work with fire.
This is gonna be great. Vorn's bringing root snacks. Corcrow's my favorite. I'll load up the mini flamethrowers when the others get here.
Well, at least the table is fireproof. I think.
Yeah, just don't hit the drinks. Bartender will have a fit.
I don't believe you. You're putting me on.
Oh, Dutch, would I lie to you?
Yes.
You're back.
Yes. I'm sorry I yelled, but those colonists seem so betrayed by something I created. I want to finish the documentary, take a stand for what matters. But what is that? What's best for the initiative?
People deserve the truth. Today and 1,000 years from now. Let's give it to them.
Okay, have your Sam give me everything it recorded in that remnant city. I'll give them raw footage, uncompromising every challenge we need to overcome. Thanks, Ryder, for everything. Hi, this is Jan Garson, founder of the initiative. We're constantly striving to make life on the Nexus more enjoyable for all our citizens. But we know there's always room for improvement. If you have any suggestions, don't hesitate to share them.
Ryder.
Pathfinder? Pathfinder. It would be wise to speak with me before engaging in trade. Fine. Everyone made it back.
New clientele is always welcome here. Have a look. I'm sure you'll find something to your taste.
I said it. You don't need it.
Can't hurt to be prepared.
For the field.
If I don't...
All your needs.
I'm not selling to aliens.
Hey, Alexei. I tracked down some samples
They let
of
you
the
pass the
Angaran
gates?
antiseptic you were talking about.
The Angaran antiseptic.
It's an honor, and I understand that. I'll be respectful.
Something like
All
that.
right.
Can't
Everyone
wait to
deserves a
catch
chance to
that
prove themselves.
Thank you very much.
Fresh parrot. Veteran? I was there when you landed. Watched you get escorted through the city.
Browse my goods. You won't want
I get why everyone was on edge. I didn't mean to worry them.
We've been through worse than the arrival of one human.
I've never seen fruit like this before. What are these?
Haripo. Sweet with a little bite. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, I have a few Kiloa or Elmok.
Is fruit scarce here?
In this form, yes. Very expensive. If you buy a Paripo from me, it means you have something to celebrate. It's a luxury, meant to be shared with friends and family.
I'll get moving.
Whatever you're making, I have something to help.
Your credits are as good as anyone else's. Don't start any trouble and we're fine.
I'll be the poster child.
Whatever. my goods. You won't walk away empty-handed. Must find common ground.
Exaltation is just another word for how the Kett kill us.
And if you're wrong? If we've been killing for them without realizing it?
I saw a Kett up close when they attacked. It was nothing like our people.
The Kett weaponize their victims to make you hesitate.
And when the Kett begin to exalt your people, what will you do then?
Thank you for that. Insight, Pathfinder. The issue facing us is complex. Come, my friends. Deliberate with me.
The Moshae said you'd want to hear my experience with the Kett, to learn from it.
I do. Tell me about it.
They had just arrived. I was on a civilian shuttle to Volt when we received a message. The spaceport was on lockdown. Security concerns due to the Kett. We were supposed to land on a nearby moon and wait for the all clear. Instead of landing, the shuttle captain turned back. Something felt wrong, he said. Later we learned it was a Kett transmission to isolate us for capture. The captain had saved our lives. Invest in your personal protection.
You can't have been more than a child when that happened.
I was old enough to know life would never be the same. When trouble comes calling, will you be ready? Why am I armed?
Ven, thought you'd be in a resistance holding cell.
That was Ephra's plan. He wanted to throw me down a hole once he got his precious answers. The Moshae convinced him to release me here. I volunteer and they let me see sunlight.
You didn't trade one cell for another after all. And you get fresh air.
And servitude, dressed up like forgiveness. The Moshae keeps her high ground, and I'm the traitor who gets a second chance.
She didn't have to offer you mercy. You certainly don't deserve it.
Think I don't know that? I should get back to work. They're not paying me to stand around. Oh, that's right. They're not paying me at all.
We're still good. Welcome to the marketplace. I am Arbiter Renarv. I enforce correct conduct between merchants and customers, resolving any disputes. As the first outsider to enter the city, you are ignorant of our laws. Goods for We the should home, change that. tools for the field, supplies for all your needs.
Who decides what happens to people who break the law?
It depends on the grievance. I settle minor offenses right here. More serious ones require a tribunal.
Where I'm from, the biggest trade law is don't cheat. Is it different here?
I suspect we define cheating differently. What is unfair changes based on perspective.
I don't want to cause any trouble. How do I learn your laws?
I'll transmit a full readout. Familiarize yourself with the contents. Personal responsibility is a core foundation of our society. We expect it from everyone.
Understood.
Please visit my colleagues in the Governor's office and the Resistance headquarters. They'll teach you about our culture and what it means to walk freely among us. Your understanding is critical. It would be unfortunate if you accidentally violated our laws.
Protection. Shield yourself.
I really wonder what would have happened if we hadn't found Aya. The people here have been so generous, and honestly, they didn't need to be.
I'm certainly thankful they didn't gun us all down. After the Ket, I wouldn't blame them.
Now it's up to us not to betray that trust, I suppose.
Hello there.
I'm working.
You scan Aya's first alien visitor without permission, then blow me off? Come on.
Curiosity doesn't imply a desire to interact.
Noted. What's your interest in me?
You're an alien on my homeworld. Why wouldn't I be interested?
You could have asked.
Fine. Will you submit to a full-spectrum analysis of your biology?
You haven't even told me your name.
Darnfra. Biological researcher. This is my home.
Are you looking for something specific?
We share many external similarities. I want to learn if that holds true internally.
I can't fault you for being curious. Scan away.
I didn't think you'd comply.
I'm full of surprises.
That you are. When we face extinction, family is our final comfort. Do you understand that?
I came to this galaxy with my family. I lost my father on the day I arrived.
But you still carry on his legacy. He knew that, in the end. Family is everything. Not only the one we have now, but the ones that follow us. What will your family look like in 5 generations? 10? How many of you will there be?
You're worried there'll be more of us than you.
I have 23 grandchildren. I want to know what their grandchildren will inherit. Goodbye, Pathfinder.
Well, what do you think?
I could get used to this.
We take turns living here. You can see why.
I love pretty much everything about it.
I love the air, the breeze. And one day we'll have more places like this. I have faith.
The Moshai said we should speak. You remember the Ket's arrival?
One of them came to our city on a vow to offer lavish gifts. We lined up along the street to watch the alien walk with our ambassador. As it passed, it stopped and knelt in front of me. I still dream of what it said. Young one, you are meant for greatness.
Now I know why my arrival had everyone on edge.
When I saw you walk with Paran through our city, I hoped that the guards would kill you. I will never trust outsiders again.
Pavoa, I'm glad they finally let you into the city. You deserve it. This is Aya's Cultural Museum and History Archive. It's small, but you've already made it brighter.
You said the helmet was touched by the Scourge. What does that...
I forget. With the drive...
The ship's crash.
But that may not be all. If it touched the... storms. I hadn't even thought of that.
I'll come back when I have...
Stars.
Ryder, knowing the Angara were created, it blows my mind. The Jardin did this. Developed a new species and evolved them to sentience.
Not so loud, PB.
Honestly, it's more than I'm in awe. But we're not the big kids on this block.
Hello, Pathfinder. And this is unfamiliar to... It's clearly centuries old. The implications. Pathfinder, you may have discovered our earliest artifact yet.
Could it be a relic from another culture?
The technique and material matches other Angaran relics, and you found it in one of our worlds. But perhaps the depiction isn't an Angara. It could be a deity of some sort.
Oh.
Stop.
I can't work under these conditions. What does it take to be left alone?
Ease off. I'm here to help. You reported that someone in the Resistance threatened you. Tell me exactly what happened.
I didn't know Riala was sending the Pathfinder. I deserve no less, of course. I was measuring the photonic dispersal from the canopies when some random brute interrupted me. I asked him to move, and he got nasty. Said it was my fault his friend was dead. Ridiculous.
That's a weird thing to say. How did he threaten you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was the big gun he was carrying? He got right up in my face and compared me to a cat. He wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. The whole conversation made no sense. I think he was inebriated.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but dial it down. We're guests here.
Exactly. We shouldn't have to put up with this. When he left, I tagged him with infrared dye from my sample kit. Invisible to the naked eye, but not to a scanner.
I'll scan people around the Resistance headquarters. See if I find him.
You're supposed to represent our interests on Aya. Go, represent. I have work to do.
Heard you were coming. I prepared a data pad on our laws regarding war. Learn them.
They're still using adaptive encryption, but things are... Someone will be sacrificed.
Let's go over this again, everyone. Center, ground, focus.
Sam, what's this?
A decontamination console for visitors to the Med Center. Touch the start pad to use it. I detect the infrared dye Sorvis Len used to mark the person who threatened him.
I know why you're here. The botanist. You want an apology for what I said to him.
I only have one side of the story. Tell me yours.
It's hard to explain.
Try me.
Aya isn't big enough to give everyone a home. We each live here a short time and then move on. For someone to come, another must go. The exchanges are chosen at random. We call this arrangement the Vassal. Time of change. It worked well, until now.
You lost someone you cared about. Was it because of the Vassal?
That's one way to see it. When our leaders agreed to make a place for your people here, it came with a cost. My friend won a place on Aya, but he sold that slot so one of you could stay here instead.
Sold it how? What did he get?
Comforts for his family, resources to improve their home on Haval. He always put others before himself. That's how he died, fighting Ket on Vold. When I found out, I was angry. Said things to your botanist I shouldn't have, but I'd never hurt your people.
I believe you. And I'm sorry for your loss. Between us, that botanist is kind of a jerk.
He didn't fear my anger. I respect that.
I'll talk to our ambassador. See if we can minimize our impact on your Vassal.
We don't expect things to be easy. Only that you understand, nothing is free for us.
It took humanity 8 years to get a Citadel embassy back home. Pretty impressive to get one here so fast.
All it took was handling some remnant.
It'll take more to keep this partnership going. Ambassador Riala will handle the embassy. Lets us focus on everything else.
You again.
Thank you for listening, Pathfinder.
field. Supplies for all your needs.
Think we'll see more.
Are you all right, Omda? Pathfinder? As you can imagine, your arrival raised concerns from Aya's people.
It'll take a long time to trust strangers again.
Which is why they want the Nexus to listen to them. We've set up terminals in the city so people can leave messages for your people on the Nexus. I'd appreciate if you take a look and forward their communications to your people.
Arbiter Renav told me to expect you. I prepared a datapad detailing our laws. Read it fully.
I read through your reports. How long till the Angara allows civilian visitors?
I'm working on it. For now, all visits to Aya must have an official purpose.
We'll discuss this later.
Any news on what happened to Sorvis Len?
Do you know about the Vassal? The Angaran lottery that decides who gets to live on Aya?
I've heard of it. Why?
Angara are selling their slots to come here, so our people can stay in their place. Including a member of the Angaran resistance. He was killed on Vold. Wouldn't have happened if he'd been here.
No one told me of this arrangement. Oh, we have to do something.
Governor Shai is on our side. She'll know what to do.
You're right. We need to solve this problem together. Thank you, Pathfinder. I'll forward your proposal to Director 10 immediately.
What's our end goal for Aya?
A strong alliance is all we can ask for. Helios is the Angara's home. They dictate the terms of this partnership, not us. We need them as allies, and they could benefit from us. But we have to tread lightly.
Show them we're not invaders.
Historically, when two civilizations meet, one consumes or destroys the other. We need to break that cycle.
How many of our people have they let into the city?
A strictly limited number, and only certain professions. Scientists, engineers, and scholars. The Angara have agreed to allow some of our people to work in Aya's research facilities.
That's huge.
It's more than I expected. Tan wants me to push for social visits, but I'm holding my ground. We need to move at their pace. They've been extraordinarily gracious, all things considered. I'll take whatever they're willing to give.
How did the Jardan factor into the new alliance?
Between you and I, we all stumbled onto something much bigger than us. We'll have to be even more careful. If these Jardan ever show up, we need a plan.
A plan?
What happens when they find someone new on their turf? They were formidable enough to create an entire civilized species. Not someone I want as an enemy.
How are things going? Anything else I can do to help out?
Actually, yes. Director 10 gave me a project. He wants more Aya natives to live on the Nexus. He thinks it will deepen our partnership. A few Angara expressed interest, but none of them will agree to live on the Nexus without speaking to you first.
Why me?
After what you've accomplished? I didn't want to bother you, but you asked. I'll point you towards the candidates. If you could convince them to transfer, I'd be grateful.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
Pathfinder. Ambassador Riala didn't think you'd have time for me.
She said you needed to talk before agreeing to live on the Nexus.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm an anthropologist, but I've only ever studied my own people. I've heard the Nexus is home to multiple species and cultures. Bacteria, viruses, other contaminants. My family worries about me. Are you sure I'll be safe?
We'll take every precaution, but entering an alien environment is always a risk.
I appreciate your honesty, and so will my family. I'll convince them to let me go.